they say that once you get the dust in your moccasins, you can't get it out. But after those events at Dorney back in mid-June 2014, when I got down to Horseshoe, actually wondering, could that have happened that the dust somehow got unstuck? Where should I start, with bad news or good news? I'm feeling kind of good news. I'm thinking back on like patrol games when I was working on the script for this. Like one of the first games I actually did was a patrol level game, where these types of games were like station based all over the campus. So like in 2012 we had a Marvel themed one, and then in 2011 my leg got stuck in stinging nails. Like I almost fell off the side of what I'm gonna call the Old Camp Road, which goes past the Prairie Field HQ and down toward what is currently the STEM Lodge, called Tram Lodge during the off season. You also have another lodge down there called Browning, which is a taller one. You also have Tandy Crap. There was like Every Man for Himself before that. I haven't done those. That time, first time I took a shower at the start of that game. And the other one, a lot of us decided to kick back because we didn't really like, because the more recent one, that was 2014, 2015, a lot of us stayed back because we didn't really like the plot, but that week was very interesting. I forget what hours was for patrol level game, but like I think week 2 was a Lego movie themed one, so I think that was 2014. The first time, where definitely more than later, we had like troop level games, so where like the SPL or something would go over to HQ and get a debriefing, and then they would come back, debrief us, and then camp director at the time, Will Stevens, the plot was that he lost all his memories, so we needed to reteach him the alphabet. So we had to find things that started with certain letters, and so the first troop they got all the way to Z would be the winner. Obviously for patrol levels with stations, first one to complete all stations, and for the Marvel ones, defeat a boss would win. 2012 and 2015 kind of are weird, is that it's like all set in one location. 2012 was like a Boomtown theme, and we were set by the pool, and each troop had its own station, but so kids from each patrol would go out to the other stations and try and get like the equivalent of the currency. In 2015, we had like a carnival theme in an area called the Grove, which is an area where like 98% of it is in Pennsylvania, but like the 2% where the archery range is in Maryland. I don't know if I mentioned previously in scouting stuff about Horseshoe, about being located right on the Mason-Dixon line. And there is actually a stone still there. OA being over the area, I might have mentioned it once before, but I'll mention it again, is that Boy Scouts Honor Society, and I'll get back to that in a bit. But 2015, instead of doing a game on the Wednesday night, they was Aero Tour, so there's like a lot of active stuff going around in that. I remember back when I was like, I was a troop guy by that point, where 2 new little kids, the Thompson twins, one was a little homesick, and I did my best to help out. Thinking back to my first summer camp, where a kid named Nick Crookshank, we played badminton sometimes over siesta between lunch and the afternoon merit pack session. Sometimes we're good friends with our kids, Brandon and Sammy, who are in. I think all 4 of them start off in my bowl. But another thing I feel like could have gotten the dust knocked out of me, besides the events at Dorney Park not really making me want to be interested into like water park and stuff anymore, even though I did do the water stuff in Great Peak on that trip, besides the mountain coach you can take a POV out of. But yeah, cleaning out the pool for my Order of the Arrow ordeal, yeah, that scarred me. I did seal my membership, but I wasn't active in it. I didn't really want to be in the OA, as much as I ended up being tapped out and all. The last time, they were very rainy, and so I think it was like a lot of like storms. Thus, that whole Saturday ended up going very differently. So instead of going down to the pool for War Carnival, they combined some aesthetics of the other big event that goes on, that they do on some Saturdays, is Pub and Field Day. Like whole story is like a Triton or something, like annoyed because like they got flooded out over there, so they'd hold competition, and one of those pieces is they did a lookalike contest. That was only from Paul Bunyan, and also that affected the closing ceremonies as well. Normally we'd go up to Educate on Fire Circle through Sherwood Forest. I think you saw that on the image earlier. But we had to do the closing ceremonies in the dining hall. Until my year, some scouts had to move over to the OA Lodge for their meals so they couldn't get announcements. OA stuff actually, like, just down the side from where my campsite is. Again, I'll post a map of that area. So you have the Rothrock and Roberts. Those are Adirondacks because they have 3 walls and a huge area that's open on the front. Then you have 2 lodges, Rothrock, which isn't really used, but it blocks most of the trail down to archery and, blocks most of the path down to the rifle and shotgun range. Then you have Roberts Lodge, which is the nature lodge, and you have 2 or 3 classrooms. And then you go down rocky slope a bit, and then you have a road, and then you have the fire circle, where there are closing ceremonies. The opening ceremonies are normal. Yeah, the opening ceremonies are done down the old camp road, a bit further down from Handicraft, STEM, and Brown, and closer to that grove I was talking about a bit earlier. And then, after AMA, since I got my Eagle, I didn't really want to go back down there and decided to help out with the Cub Scouts back in these parts. I was a Cub Scout Den Chief for 1 summer, and then I think I was at archery a second, and then I ended up at B, which uses the rifle range for the final, or something like that. But I feel that what I said earlier at the top of the video, I don't think applies. I still really would like to go back and shoot a music video down there. I visited once when I did with Outpost. Outpost is when the dining hall is closed for one day, Thursday, during the week, so those staff get the day off. And so they provide breakfast and lunch, and then most of the troops, they gives them some dinner as well, but some of the larger troops, they do special meals and celebrations, and so the staff go around to the other camps. Most day is normal otherwise, except the contingent going down for marching is a lot smaller. And then after that, some groups like Trailblazers, Camping Merit Badge, most of the groups that require something else, like camping, will do their outposts on Thursday night, but from what I know, E-Prep and Astronomy will try and do their stuff on Wednesday night. But when I took Astronomy, we tried again that Friday, and both Wednesday and Friday were kind of cloudy. And then, fortunately, on that night that we were finally able to do it, Saturday night, so we could complete the merit badge. My grandmother, unfortunately, passed away that night, so we think of that as a special moment that she wanted me to, for my destiny, become an Eagle Scout. So after all these years, I'd say we've become more distant from scouting. Yes, there's definitely a lot of good times and bad times, being hooked when I was taking fishing merit badge. I think that was my 2nd year of Horseshoe. Never did anything for Paul Bunyan or Water Carnival, but some of the games that I did were very interesting and honestly very athletic, and at the time they were. Obviously we were supposed to be wasted by the time we were done, and some people are still talking past 11 at midnight at times, Yeah, at least for Adirondacks, they're considered hardcover. So 98% of the time we could just stay under our Adirondacks, which means we could still sleep. But there were all those 2% of times where we obviously were either somewhere else already when the big storm came through, or had to be moved somewhere. I think that was only 1 year. But yeah, I digress. I'm Lindsay. Comment, subscribe. Struggle if you're subscribed, and I'll see ya next time.
Began with the dreams of old, the Indian brave and the pioneer bold. By campfires light old tales retold in the loop of the Octoraro bend. Those early their campaign hats, their pressed wool shirts, their boots and spats, rekindle the dreams that have gone before in the loop of the Octoraro bend. They built our camp up on the Mason-Dixon line, historic land where values shine. Oh, Horseshoe, your memories will e'er be mine in the blue